All right, welcome everyone. This is In the News. Happy Friday. For all you lovebirds out there, tomorrow is Valentine's. But before we go, let me make sure my microphone is good. Test one, we are good on the microphone. All right, ladies and gentlemen. But today is Friday the 13th for you superstitious people out there. This day is Friday the 13th, and a lot going on out here in the world today. So we are going to get into it. But before we get into it, we got to hit up the In the News intro. So let's go. All right. So today up on the list, we have Governor Wes Moore and Donald Trump to start off with In the News. All right, so what's going on with that? For those that don't know, President Donald Trump is excluding at least 2 Democratic governors from a White House dinner this month with the nation's governors as he breaks from the historically bipartisan nature of the annual gathering. Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Colorado Governor Jared Polis, both regular Democratic targets of Trump, have been disinvited from the White House dinner with the National Governors Association. In addition, Trump is only inviting Republican governors to a winter meeting between the White House and NGA that has traditionally featured all governors from both parties. There's actually an interview that was held on CNN with Governor Wes Moore. So let's go check a clip on that.
Before I let you go, I just want to understand what you think the reason is that you are being singled out, and Jared Polis, but from your perspective, why are you being excluded from this dinner?
Well, I've long learned that I'm not trying to get inside over the president's psyche. It's not a good use of my time. It's not lost to me that I'm the only black governor in this country, and I find that to be particularly painful, considering the fact that the president is trying to exclude me from an organization that not only all my peers have asked me to help to lead, but then also a place where I know I belong in. And so I've long learned, and I've talked to the people and the children of my state, is that I'm never in a room because of someone's benevolence nor kindness. I'm not in a room because of a social experiment. I'm in the room because I belong there, and the room was incomplete until I got there.
All right. We also have in the news, this was a unfortunate situation and story, but let's check this one out. All right. So we have Patricia Martin. She was a former presiding judge of the Cook County Juvenile Court's Child Protection Division. She was accused of stealing over $245,000 from her elderly Tuskegee Airman uncle, Oscar Lawton Wilkerson. Shout out and salute to Mr. Wilkerson. Martin, who had power of attorney over Wilkerson's finances, made numerous withdrawals from his account and shut down his accounts, leaving him at risk of eviction. The theft was discovered when Wilkerson's nursing home called to say that he had not paid his balance in months. Martin was arrested and pleaded guilty to 1 felony theft count, receiving a 4-year probation sentence. Mr. Wilkerson is now deceased. May rest in peace. There's still some things going on with this case, but let's see. We got a clip. Let me roll this clip here so we can give a little bit more further information on it. Here we go.
We're digging into a once trusted Cook County judge. She was supposed to be helping an elderly man manage his money. Instead, she was taking large amounts for herself. That man was a Tuskegee Airman who fought for his country while battling segregation.
In August 2020, word came from the nursing home
that account balances weren't right, checks were being dishonored.
The facility hadn't been paid in months. Lawton was $41,000 behind.
We started by contacting Patricia Martin. She attempted to dodge and evade, and she didn't seem to have the time to return a phone call over such an important thing.
Critical for Wilkerson, with his money now missing, he was told he was going to have to move out of the place he called home if things didn't get settled.
She stole the money, we can see from some of the documents.
11 withdrawals over 18 months, pocketing more than $245,000, shutting down accounts without telling anyone, moving most of her new wealth into harder-to-track Bitcoin.
It's hard to think of something more evil for her to have done, but she did.
Her final withdrawal came just 7 days before the barrier-breaking Wilkerson died.
All of her actions, they shock the conscience, and you'd think that if she was innocent, that would have caused her to want to communicate right away, but she didn't.
She didn't communicate with them and later ignored the judge overseeing the lawsuit. Martin repeatedly failed to show up for court hearings, the judge ordering her to halt all transactions. But court documents show she ignored that too, continuing to move money.
It makes me wonder what is wrong in Patricia's heart that she would do that to somebody.
In the end, the judge ordered Martin to pay triple what she took, $1.1 million for the $250,000 she stole.
It was a very nice feeling to see judgment enter, to see the court system taking it seriously, to see that despite the fact that Patricia had been a judge herself, that she's not above the law.
But she knows the law and used it to get that $1 million judgment thrown out, in part because Wilkerson had died.
She tried to drag it out, I believe hoping that my grandfather and other people would pass away before justice could be served.
Judge Martin, is there anything you'd like to say to the Wilkerson family about what's been going on?
You can speak to my attorney.
In the months that followed, this became a criminal case, too. Martin charged with money laundering and financial exploitation of an elderly person. Late last year, that case quietly ended as she pled guilty to one felony theft count, sentenced to 4 years of probation.
Probation and a felony conviction for that sort of theft from that sort of a victim just is not quite enough.
All right, so we also have some stuff going on in Chicago as well. In the northern suburb of Chicago, a Round Lake Beach woman, 33-year-old Dominique Servant, and her boyfriend, 38-year-old Joey Ruffin, are facing first-degree murder and child endangerment. Her 8-year-old son, Markel Pierce, was found unalived in their home from apparent abuse and malnourishment. The Lake County Coroner's Office said while there is evidence of injuries and malnourishment, an autopsy has not yet fully determined a cause of death, while investigators await further laboratory and forensic testing. Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhart said in a statement, "This 8-year-old child should still be alive, and this horrific crime was preventable. In light of the ongoing nature of this investigation, the moral mandate that we secure justice, and the need to hold every responsible party accountable, we will be providing limited information prior to a full presentment of charges to the grand jury." All right, so there was a vigil as well for the 8-year-old young man who is unfortunately, unalived by his mom and his boyfriend. So we definitely want to make sure that, he's an ancestor now, but make sure that, everything in terms of prayers is given to, the family. All right, so let's continue. All right. Kid Rock. It looks like Kid Rock's 2026 Rock the Country tour has lost more talent, and one of its planned stops has been scrapped entirely. The festival tour, which is set to feature vocal conservatives including Kid Rock, has canceled a pair of shows that were scheduled for July 25th and July 26th in Anderson, South Carolina. Shout out to South Carolina. According to the Post and the Courier, organizers told Fox Carolina the shows were canceled because of, quote, unforeseen circumstances, end quote. On February 6th, though, Shinedown, which is another group, confirmed it had pulled out of the festival. In a statement shared on Instagram, the rock band said its purpose is to unite, not divide, adding, "We do not want to participate in something we believe will create further division." The tour is still going to kick off in May in Belleville, Texas. HB1 visas. All right. The H-1B visa program, which allows U.S. companies to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations, is facing a potential permanent scrapping under the new plan proposed by Republican lawmakers. The Exile Act, introduced by Representative Greg Steube, aims to end the H-1B program entirely by 2027. The bill proposes amending the Immigration and Nationality Act to reduce the number of H-1B visas to 0 starting in 2027, effectively shutting down the program. Critics argue that the H-1B program prioritizes foreign labor over U.S. citizens, displacing American workers and undermining national interests. The proposal has sparked significant debate and is expected to face substantial scrutiny as it moves through the Congress. All right, so now we have Don Lemon. A lot's been going on with Don Lemon, but let's see what's happened. I think right now, I heard he's supposed to have his case pretty soon, I think, or he went to court, something like that. But anyway, let's see what's going on with Don Lemon. All right, do I have a video clip here with Don Lemon? All right, I don't think I do. All right, well, anyway, Don Lemon, he has it looks like he has a attorney who represented him in, yeah, here we go. Okay, so a federal prosecutor who quit amid concerns over how the Trump administration was handling the investigation into Renee Nicole Good's killing is now representing journalist Don Lemon. On Tuesday, Joseph H. Thompson, I believe you can see him on the screen. Yep, there he goes. Entered a notice of appearance for Lemon, a former CNN anchor, in a case that accuses Lemon of violating the religious freedom of worshipers following his coverage of protesters who interrupted services at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Lemon faces charges brought by the Trump administration in connection with his live stream of the protest, which targeted a pastor who demonstrators alleged worked for immigration and customs enforcement at a time when federal law enforcement personnel were clashing with protesters amid an immigration crackdown in the area. Thompson did not immediately respond to a request for comment about his representing Lemon. All right, family. So for those who are still paying child support, be on the lookout because there might be some upcoming legislation and law regarding child support and U.S. passports. So let's get into it. U.S. to expand passport revocations for parents who owe child support. Parents who owe a significant amount of child support soon could lose their ability to travel internationally as the Trump administration expands and steps up enforcement of a 30-year-old law that allows the federal government to revoke American passports until payments are made, 3 U.S. officials told the Associated Press. While passport revocations for unpaid child support of more than 2,500 have been permitted under 1996 federal legislation, the State Department had in the past acted only when someone applied to renew their travel document or sought other consular services. In other words, enforcement depended on the person approaching the department for assistance. The number of people who could be affected was not immediately clear, but it is believed to be in the thousands because of the potentially large universe of those owing child support who currently hold passports. The State Department will make the changes in tiers, an anonymous official said. The first group to be affected will be passport holders who owe more than $100,000 in past due child support. Wow. One of the officials said fewer than 500 people meet that threshold and could avoid having their passport revoked if they ever enter into a payment plan with HHS after being notified of the pending revocation. The official acknowledged, though, that if and when the threshold is lowered to a smaller past due amount, the number of those affected will rise significantly. The official could not say when any further changes would take effect or estimate how many people might then lose their passports. Wow. All right, family. So for those that are paying child support, definitely be on the lookout, and hopefully you're keeping up with your payments. All right, so we're gonna move on to some US Census stuff here. All right, US Census. Immigrant rights groups seek to dismiss a Republican lawsuit to exclude non-citizens from US Census. Immigrant rights groups are seeking to toss out a Republican lawsuit that would prohibit the US Census Bureau from counting people who are in the US illegally during the 2030 census. The groups said that the lawsuit filed late last month by Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway would violate the law and require a recount of the US population from 2020, costing billions of dollars. Quote, that unlawful request would distort representation for millions of Americans and shake the foundations of our representative democracy, end quote, said the motion from the immigrants' rights groups, which are seeking to intervene and are being represented by several ACLU Foundation chapters. The lawsuit is the latest effort by Republicans to exclude people who are in the United States illegally or other non-citizens from the census figures. Those numbers guide the distribution of federal money and determine the number of congressional seats and electoral college votes each state receives in a process known as apportionment. The Missouri lawsuit asked that the apportionment process that used the 2020 census figures be redone without including people in the United States illegally, and that the process after the 2030 census be conducted in the same manner. So for those that haven't been paying attention to the gubernatorial race out here in California, it looks like there is one person who's getting some big backing from some of the tech industry folk. All right, so Google founder Sergey Brin, the third richest person in the world, approximately $255 billion, according to Forbes, is supporting San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan to be California's next governor, along with other billionaires and top tech leaders to contribute to Mahan's campaign. And we're definitely going to actually have to probably do a different show. Did I say off show? Like offshore? We're probably going to have to do a one-off show specifically dedicated to the, maybe we might do all across the nation, but in particular here in the California, to focus on the gubernatorial race, because Governor Gavin Newsom is terming out, and so there's going to be a new governor in 2026, 2027 coming up. So a lot is going on in the midterms, and a lot is going on out here in California. All right, so let's see what else is good. All right, so for those who use this product called Pam, now I haven't used this product in a while, but it looks like there is a lawsuit that is happening right now with this product, and looks like somebody may be getting $25 million in this lawsuit. All right. So, California jury recently awarded $25 million to Los Angeles resident Roland Esparza, who is awaiting a double lung transplant after alleged exposure to Pam Cooking spray made by Conagra Brands. The lawsuit alleged that the company negligently sold Pam products that were defective and potentially caused exposure to dangerous chemicals, including diacetyl, a butter-flavored chemical linked to respiratory illness. So once again, family, for those that are consuming this product, be on the lookout for this. I haven't used Pam in a long time, and I don't know a lot of people who use Pam, but obviously it's still in the market. So, hey, just be aware. Just trying to keep people up to date. All right, let's see what else is going on here. You know what? We'll close out with that story positive later. Let's see. Essence magazine. Essence is having its 19th annual Black Women in Hollywood Awards, set for March 12th at the Fairmont Century Plaza Hotel, with the 2026 theme off script. Honorees include Chase Infinity, Kerry Washington, LaTanya Richardson Jackson, Zinzi Kugler, and the women behind the groundbreaking film Sinners. Yeah, family, if you haven't seen Sinners yet, y'all definitely need to go check that one out. Probably living underneath the rock, but hey, it's an excellent movie, great movie. We actually did, I think we actually might have done 2 reviews of Sinners on here, so you can go check that out. Actually, we have a chance. All right, so let's switch over to New York. See what's going on out there in the good place called the Big Apple. All right, New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Oh, that last name always gets to me. But I think I got it. Zohran Mamdani has plans for the bathroom shortage in New York City. New York City has just 1 public bathroom per 8,500 residents, forcing reliance on businesses or costly alternatives, highlighting broader public service failures. Mamdani wants to allocate $4 million to build 20 to 30 modular toilets. All right, so for the New York family out there, hope y'all staying safe during this winter season. And yeah, I think we're gonna have some people from the New York state on the platform and actually talk about New York and see what's going on with Mamdani and the progress out there, or non-progress. But you know, he just got into office, so we need to give him, quote unquote, a little bit of time. But we'll see. All right, let's see what else is going on in the news. All right, so in Leander, Texas, for our good brothers and sisters down in Tejas State. In Leander, Texas, there is a new mayor. Her name is Nicole Thompson. She is the first Black woman to become mayor in Leander. She said, "I think it's amazing during Black History Month. We are still making history as a community and as a society," she said. The city's first Black mayor was Charles Eaton, who served from 1996 to 2000. Thompson, a Leander City Council member since 2021, beat 2 opponents in a special election to fill the unexpired term of previous mayor Christine de Lisle, who resigned in October. Thompson's term ends in May 2027. She is retired from a career in finance and banking and owns a beauty supply store in Leander with her husband. Now, this is interesting. the mayor and city council members serve without pay. I'm going to repeat that again. The mayor and city council members serve without pay in Leander, Texas. So for those that do take up the responsibility as mayor and city council, hey, got to give them a lot of credit for doing this without pay, because, hey, they don't have to. And let's see what else we have here. They're going to end it with this wonderful couple out in Chicago. All right, so let's see here. TNC Fitness Club, owned by couple Katrina and Cornelius Coe, that's COE, is the first Black-owned gym in the Austin community on Chicago's West Side. All right, so shout out to this beautiful couple. I believe we have a clip that we are going to play, and let's go.
And if you are struggling to get yourself up and moving this winter, especially after it's been so cold, maybe you need to elevate your workout game. Joining me today is a couple dedicated to doing just that. Here now from TNC Fitness is Katrina and Cornelius Coe. You're married?
Yes.
All right, and I understand that you guys own the first Black-owned gym in the Austin community.
Yes.
How significant is that? I want to start with that. It's Black History Month. I think it's fantastic. You know, how did that process go, and why is it so important, especially for your neighborhood?
Well, it's always important to kind of stay where you're rooted at.
Yeah.
You know, we met years ago, fell in love, and decided to kind of, you know, form both our little businesses together and stay in our community where we both was born and raised.
Your membership, is it unique in any way, or is it, you know, pretty much follow the programs that other gyms have?
Absolutely, it's unique because I offer a significant class where we offer a 21-day challenge, which I provide all of the equipment as well. I also offer a meal plan for my girls, as well as I have a significant class called Booty Boot Camp, which we're going to do today.
What's it called?
Booty Boot Camp.
I love that.
Which we're going to do today, and the music and the community is what makes our classes very different than other gyms.
Booty Boot Camp. That's Booty Boot Camp. So yeah, sisters, if you're out there, and all women, black, white, orange, purple, green, but I love when I see my sisters out there getting a workout on, I guess work too. I guess it's Friday, 13th, right? TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Getting healthy, staying active, family. If you guys can go out, get your workout on. I know it's cold out in some places, so if you're unable to actually go outside, out here in California, it's actually quite nice. I think it's high 60s, low 70s. So no excuses for people out here in California if it's not raining or cold. But wherever you're at in the United States or internationally, please take care of yourself. All right. Work out. If you can't work out, as I said, outside, then do some push-ups or sit-ups if you're able to, or just something. You always got to get your mind, body, and soul correct at all levels, at all times. What's that saying? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So thanks, family, for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. Before we go, just to remind everybody, once again, you can guys go to our store at etnmediagroupstore.com. That's etnmediagroupstore.com for more merch. In the description, in the link, if you shop at Amazon, that supports our channel as well. And don't forget, we got Reparations Now on Tubi, so you can check it out there too. And we are working on Reparations Now Part 2. It's actually finalized, and we submitted it to a film festival. I believe it's called the American Black Film Festival. That's going to be featured out in Miami. So depending on if we get accepted into that film festival or not, we'll probably determine the release date. But regardless, Reparations Now Part 2 is coming out in 2026. for sure, family. So thanks again, family, as once again for tuning in. You know, you could be anywhere else, looking at anywhere else, but you want to stay informed, and we greatly appreciate you in doing so. As always, we will see you next time, and take care of yourself and you and your family. All right, we'll see you later. Peace and reparations. And that is in the news.